Boom. Hey everybody. How goes it? All right. So, happy Monday, everybody. It's good seeing all of you people. I know. I'm making this a weekly occurrence, right? So instead of seeing Pizza Mike, you're seeing me. Could be worse, right? Oh, my drink's invisible. Can you see it? Can you see it? Anyway, we're gonna go into a couple things. Mainly, just how damn excited I am about the options that we've been trading. And this is what this is all about. So for everybody that hasn't been in, that isn't a member of TTG, or hasn't heard the tale of the wolf and the stalking of Roku or whatever else, we're going to go over that, right? So we're going to go over options. Okay, so what is an option? An option is leverage. That's the simplest way to put it, right? An option is a contract that will give you the ability to purchase 100 shares of the underlying security. So what is that in layman's terms? In layman terms, it's if you've got a small account, it's like playing with a big account. All right? Think of it this way. Buying 100 options in Apple, okay? 100 option contracts could cost you 25 grand. It's the equivalent of buying, or it gives you the weight and the swagger, the leverage, as if you're buying 10,000 shares of Apple. I'm not buying 10,000 shares of Apple. It's a lot. If you consider, for 100 shares of Apple, it'll cost you $36,000. 1,000 costs you $360,000. 10,000, 3.6 million. Now this is why everybody loves options. But, we're going to get into this. So, what I'm going to do in the interim, while people are still feeding in, we are going to take questions. Okay? We're going to start with that, and then I just wanted to give you a little bit of a precursor to what we're going to discuss. And I am specifically going to go over swinging an option, making 500%, 200%, 100%, maybe not in a straight line. And I think that's, it's a really important thing to understand and see it in practice. And I just so happen to have a couple of those examples that are actionable that a lot of you guys a lot of the members of TTG are playing with right now. So let's get into it. Let's start going with some questions. Oh, first, sorry, I got the hiccups. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I always like to beat Mike on subscribers as a guest host, so do me a favor and subscribe to the TTG channel. Like the video, comment when you need to, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. All right, so okay, any good iPad Mini. I always think iPad Mini's a girl. iPad Mini. Any good re-entry for CGC or wait? Look, I don't think you ever want to really chase an option. You have to be disciplined. And this goes for everybody. There's a question I get a lot, right? Everybody has different guidelines for swinging an option or reloading an option or stock for that matter. You know, mine, depending on the volatility of that security, is, you know, for something like CGC, I'd want to get in 25 cents below the last point that I sold. So if, let's say, I sold an option at $1, and then it pulls back, if it pulls back to 90, I'm not going to necessarily buy because I know that it could keep sliding. So I'll wait for 75 cents. And that is pretty much where I'm at, you know, on those calls that we're playing. All right. What do you think about cannabis stock on the strip on Vegas? So I'm guessing you're talking about like Planet 13, TGIF. Well, that's not really a cannabis stock. It's more of it's almost like a co-packer at this point. This is what I think. Cannabis isn't going anywhere. You know, a lot of the people that are investing in cannabis are just kind of shell shocked because somebody wants his dad. Sorry about that. So my son really loves me. I don't understand it either. So a lot of investors are just really shell shocked from, you know, just the sector in general. This is the first time that they're going through a bear market. You know, the first bear market that I rode through started in April of 2014, and it lasted pretty much up until right before the election, 2016. So that's a pattern that I'm thinking will repeat itself. And it's going to be off the backs of the US companies. So the Canadian companies, I think, are, for the most part, they're just trades. You know, even the ones that we're in right now are trades. Now, does that mean that they can't, you know, rebound? Sure. But do I think that they're going to see highs like before? No. Tilray will never be $100 stock again. It would be lucky if it was a $30 stock again. Canopy will never see $60 again. It would be lucky if it's up, you know, $35 again. Chronos, $12, $13. Afria, maybe $10. So, you know, the companies in Vegas, like Planet 13 is one. MedMen is there. I wouldn't touch MedMen with your money. Planet 13, you know, I think it's kind of a one-trick pony. They have a beautiful dispensary. You know, I think if you're ever in Vegas, when there's not coronavirus, obviously, that it's definitely a dispensary you should go check out, for sure. Is that business model scalable to a different area? I don't think so. Wallace D. Do you have to reset your stop loss on option daily, or can you set them to coincide with expiration date? That's a really good question. I use mental stops, but I'm guessing if you were putting in a stop loss, you could have some sort of, you know, good till cancel, but that's not really the way to go. You should be looking at it daily because you have to account for time decay, right? And just the general volatility of the option. So it's just really stupid, in all honesty, to, you know, set that that stop loss and set it and forget it. You know, Mike talks about this a lot, about how stop losses, you know, the reason that a lot of people get stopped out and then they watch the stock run is because they're not setting stop losses properly. That would be one of those situations, and I'm not picking on you, that is just not the appropriate way to set a stop loss. And, you know, Mike goes into this in detail. Aurora Cannabis, Aurora Cannabis is dead. I just wouldn't touch it. Wolf. How do you set up a one-on-one with me? You message Elena. So if you use the code TTG Wolf 7, I think that, for everybody in the control room, I think it should be, TTG Wolf 420. It just makes more sense. That's it. But you message Elena. She's great. Do you ever sell an option to open your position? No, I don't. I'm basically, I've gotten lucky a couple times, especially when I was starting out with options where I hit the wrong thing. And I, sold an option, I sold a put, or I sold a lot of puts, and it, it could have gone the other way. Thank God I escaped. And just after that, like these near misses, because look, if you sell an option, if you're selling calls or selling puts, you can run the risk of blowing up your account, and not just blowing up your account, but blowing up your account badly. I think 2 years ago, I remember a story of a guy that he was going to buy some options, and he ended up blowing up like 1.2 million in his account on a goof, like by accident. So, I'm pretty vanilla when it comes to options. Buy to open, sell to close. I'm not trying to get into anything crazy. Look, I can do iron condors, I can do covered calls, but I really just don't feel the need. I like sticking to what works, and buying puts, buying calls. It gives me the returns that I need. The returns that I'm looking for, more importantly, with that same buzz. I don't need to be sweating, if something goes wrong. Yeah, Ian, it's the same for credit spreads. Wow, look at you guys. It's funny because I see you guys asking about credit spreads, iron condors, um, covered calls, everything. You know, so for TTG, we've got, one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on, and one of the things that differentiates us from well, pretty much everybody, is the simple fact that beyond, the one-on-ones, beyond the real-time alerts, and, and trading within a group for the entirety of a day, you get all this wonderful coursework. So we've got an intro to options, which basically just goes over the basics, the glossary of terms, the practical uses of just buying options, selling options. Then we have an advanced options course that goes into the covered calls, the iron condors, the straddles, the strangles, the credit spreads, all of that. So when you are becoming a member of TTG, that is exactly what you're getting. And information like that alone is 100% worth it. On top of that, for some of you people that have never traded an option before, we'll walk you through it. When I'm doing one-on-ones with people, everybody always wants to learn how to trade options. And the people on here that are TTG members can attest to that. I'm having a brain fart right now. One of our members today was talking about, I think it was Shiny, doing a one-on-one with me and learning how to scalp particular options. And he was scalping, I think it was American Airlines all day. Just by himself, boom, 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 boom. So this is why, what we go into the education so much, and this is why, we do these streams, because I think it's just very useful. It's funny. You need to spend time with someone who trades with Street Smart to understand how to place the option trade. Well, it's funny. So Patrick, that's funny because when I'm doing my one-on-one with somebody and somebody's like, all right, I'm ready to do my option. First thing I say is, okay, message me. You can message me and we'll buy and sell the option together. You know, so I will literally hold your hand when you're going into an option trade. But, you know, it never really comes to that. All right, LT, you have a question. Can I leg into an iron condor without additional collateral as long as the same expiration date? Or do I have to open it as an iron condor to start with anybody? Honestly, LT, I don't do iron condors. I understand the concept. I understand the, you know, the why people use iron condors for their aversion to risk. I just don't do iron condors. Jay Downing, Mike, you know, can all go into iron condors. And again, we have a complete section on the advanced options. Oh, nice, Franco. What about precious metals? All right. Kronos had a good run today. Do you use 1 minute candles or 3 minute candles? Scalpers use 1 minute candles. For everybody, you know, that's chasing small caps during the day, they're using 3 minute candles. For me, for options, I use 5 minute candles, which I guess I'm kind of an anomaly with some of the ways that I do things. You know, all I need is volume, MACD, and moving averages. And even that, you know, I don't really need much because for the options that I'm trading, I've watched the tape so much that it's, you know, it's pre-programmed in my head, you know, where the supports are, where the resistances are, you know, what channels I'm going to be trading within. You know, like Canopy's a perfect example of that. So Canopy growth, which I think, what was it, last Tuesday? Did we get in that for, yeah, we got in it for TTG Tuesday. So last week, we got in that trade at 75 cents, had our first take profit at $1. It pulled back, which we knew would happen, reloaded a little bit more, and then today, you know, it just started to run. And we did the same thing to Kronos. But the whole reason that I felt comfortable getting into that trade was the fact that the last time I traded it, where I was just swing trading the actual stock, it was a move off of 16. And the reason that I did that before is because I remember it bouncing off 16 and going to 17.50. So my goal for this trade is 17.50, so a $1.50 move, you know, off of that point. And the reason that I got into Kronos was understanding that Canopy is going to pull Kronos. So it's just kind of like, how do I put it? It was a piggyback. Yeah, guys, yeah, you know, I see some of you guys kicking yourselves for this, kicking yourselves for that. Guys, you gotta, you know, good trades, bad trades, you know, you know that term, like water off a duck's back? It really has to be like that. Everybody's going to get into them. You know, look, there's stuff that I would definitely want back. For everybody that was listening last night, how many people were listening on the stream last night? So I talked a lot about small caps, you know, when I do talk. So one of the options that I was going after, I knew that I was going to be targeting today was IWM, the Russell 2000. I hate the Russell 2000. It is the weakest of the indexes. And I knew today that on a big move, I would be going after the Russell 2000. Now, I had criteria, and I was a little thick about it. So I jumped on the mic in the morning and I was like, look, I'm only going to go after this if it goes to, 146. And I was like, maybe I'll jump in if it's over 145.50, on puts. But I had that stuck in my head and it made that move 145.70 and I was like, oh, could it get there? Could it get there? And then I got distracted and that was the trade. And that would have been just a monster trade for the day. And I missed it. I missed it because I was paying attention to other things that started to run. You really have to to go with it. You're going to have that. It's going to happen to you every single day. So don't sweat it. All right. Thanks, Small Cat. Nomadic trader. Thank you. Options are priced in the Black-Scholes model. Premium increases closer to the strike price. Further out expiration, volatility increases. Thank you. And he's a very good listener because Mike was talking about this today. No, you cannot trade options pre-market or after hours. The only ones that you can trade after hours are the SPY, QQQ, IWM, and you can only trade those till 4:15. All right. Cool. So yes, so Russell 2000 is IWM. Okay. So guys, as people are coming in right now, I wanted to bring something to your attention. So guys, what's tomorrow? You guys know what tomorrow is? Come on. Right. Tomorrow is TTG Tuesday. So all of the stuff that I'm talking about now, we're going to actually be implementing it throughout the course of the day. So for TTG Tuesday and Taco Tuesday, we are going to I'm going to post a link right now through the power of magic to sign up, grab your token, and then come in and trade with us during the day. Let me tell you something. Our TTG Tuesdays are awesome. They're so much fun. And, we make everybody believers. Whether it's me, whether it's Mike, whether it's Simmons, Jay Downey, Chris Toner, Elena. Even Elena had a trade today, short natural gas. It's a really incredible day, and you get to see everything going on. You get to ask questions, but honestly, you learn a lot throughout the course. You might not even trade, okay? You don't have to say anything. Nobody's gonna, we're not like asking people questions in there. So even if you're new to this channel, if you just stumbled onto this channel by mistake, coming into TTG Tuesday, probably one of the smartest things you've ever done. Especially if you did it on a whim, where you just had no idea, I'm going to come in, I'm going to trade, and you don't even have to trade. You can, most people do. The trades that we given in there just absolutely crush. Like, absolutely crush. Okay? So last Tuesday, my trade was Chronos and Canopy. Guess what? If you had held that Chronos call option from last Tuesday to today, you'd have made 100% gain. That's real talk right there. Yeah, guys, it's really a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. I love it. TTG Tuesday is what got me hooked. Think about it. All right, so 8:51. We're going to take a look. We're going to do a quick peek at futures because it's important. And then we're going to do this again. We're going to take a look again at 9:30 when some of Asia opens up. VIX down almost 1%, S&P, Dow about the same, NASDAQ 60, gold up, Nikkei futures up, Nikkei down barely, small cap futures 0.5%. So pretty much what you'd expect before 9:30. The reason 9:30, some of Asia opens, but the real time is after 11 p.m. So 11 p.m., that's when we start seeing injections. And, I went over this yesterday, paying attention to the futures. You can use investing.com for real-time data. But anyway, so now that we've gotten all through that, I've answered some of your questions. We are going to talk about options, okay? Now, the title of this was, how you make 500% on an option, okay? Some of the TTG members made 500%. Some of the members 2 weeks ago, we were just absolutely crushing this one option, and that option was Roku. So last week I got 122 calls when the price was $117.50. That option went from $3.30 was my first entry, $2.63 was my second entry, and that option went past $10, okay, as of Friday. What it hit today was pretty much 500%. Now, that type of move is what I call a linear move, okay? Okay, for people that don't understand what linear and, linear feet, you've probably heard the term, you've probably heard me say it. Just think of it as a straight line, like this, like that, all right? It's great to be in those, okay, but they're rarities. Now, if you bought Tesla last week, if you bought $1,100 calls 2 weeks ago, yeah, your move is like actually it's more like this, like straight up, okay? Guys, those are the white whales, okay? They're white whales. Those are the Moby Dicks of trades. Like when Tesla makes a move like that, when Apple makes a move, when Luckin Coffee goes just completely down into the gutter and you have puts, those are white whales, okay? What you have to understand is not everybody is going to be able to hunt Moby Dick, okay? Not everybody is equipped to hunt Moby Dick, but that doesn't mean you can't be prepared to hunt a bunch of smaller Moby Dicks that turn into big Moby Dicks. It's a lot of talking dicks, so I'm going to move off of that. All right? So what I mean by that is, I really like swinging an option. So what do I mean by swinging an option? Let's start with that. So I buy an option at $1, okay? It goes to $1.50. I sell half of my position at $1.50, okay? It starts pulling back. It gets back down to $1. I reload, okay? Now I can reload the same amount, all right? Now let's say I bought 20 options, okay? So I make 500 on the first 10. It comes back. I'm still holding 10, all right? It gets back to $1. I'm still even on what's left, but really I'm up 500. Now I could buy 10 and just reload, or I can buy 15. I can use house money, all right? I like to use house money because it's house money, all right? Especially if I'm confident in the move. If I just think that this is the normal volatility in the stock, I'll add 15, so now I got 25. And then we go back to 150, and I've turned a 50% move into 150% move. Because 5 of those options, or 125% move, because 5 of those options were house money. You add it on. You see where I'm going with this. Now that's one way to do it. Especially if you're playing weeklies. Like you can do that on the SPY all day. All right, especially on what we call inside out days. You can do this when you're scalping. I think that the best time to scalp an option is when a company misses on earnings or it sells off on earnings, because you're always going to have two factions. You're going to have the buy the dip crowd, and you're going to have the I want to take profit crowd, and the stock's just going to be going like this. And for days like that, if you're trading options, like that's your Super Bowl. You know, you can look at it like this. On days like that, let me take a sip of water. On days like that, I could go in and buy 20 options at a time and flip them for 10 cents, 20 cents. Okay? Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Now, if I do that 25 times, and let's say I get 10 cents each time, buying in $20 blocks, that's $5,000. Requires no effort. Okay, it just requires some guts and some discipline, right? Because sometimes you're going to buy it and it's going to go down. You got to stay within a very tight range. So that's like a non-linear move. Okay, so basically, instead of trying to catch that whole move, you're just trying to catch these smaller moves like that, like that, like that. Now, practical use, something a little bit closer to home. Okay. Now, I know that a lot of you were in TTG on Tuesday. So I know that if you followed that Canopy trade or the Chronos trade, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you remember, I pulled profit out of those. I think I did it same day. I think I pulled profit out of both of them same day. If not, then the next day. So I'll give you for instance, okay? So let's start with Chronos, okay? Because that was a smaller, a tighter range, okay? So we got into the $6 July 17th call, okay? Now on Tuesday of last week, when Chronos was under $6, okay? Got in at about $5.95. So got in at $5.95 when the stock was $5.95. The option was priced at 33 cents. I got 33, people got 33, 34, 35, okay? So let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just call it 35 cents, okay? Simple. It makes a move, it breaks that plane where it's an in the money option, and the option goes to 45, 46, okay? So if you got in at 35, or in my case, I got in at 33, so it's a 30% move. Actually, a little bit more. So 33, 12, yeah, it was almost a 40% move, okay? I took my profit because I had a lot of time on this option, okay? It was a July 17th call. I think I had 18 days on the option before it expired. So what happened? Now, it pulled back to 40. I didn't reload. I waited because I understand the nature of these options, especially the securities that I'm trading. You know, they have a tendency to pull back and chop around a little bit. And I knew with that chop, we were going to get another opportunity. We were going to get another crack at it. So what happened? Took a day, but then all of a sudden, now Chronos I set a bid. Now Chronos hits my bid 35 cents. So now I'm back in the game, right? Back in Friday, it pretty much did nothing. I think it went to 40 cents, okay, and then pulled back. Now today is when we make the move, right? So we go from like 615 to 650, 654 or something like that. So then that option goes all the way to 70 cents. I think 70 cents was the high. I don't know if it hit. I know it showed. But on that first move, okay, I made 40% on my position. it pulled back. Now I reloaded the position, okay? And not only did I reload the position, I got a little something extra because I've got house money on there. I got between 12 and 13 cents on that option. And I know 12, 13 cents probably doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to look at it this way. Every penny on an option is $1, okay? So if you've got 50 of those options, you're making $600, okay? So we sell those 45, 46, we reload them at 35. Now I know in order for me to lose money, this thing's got to go to 25 cents, which I know is not going to happen because the option's in the money, but if it did, I could bail out, adjust my stop and just ride into the sunset, risk-free, like whatever, it's not going to surprise me, but that's not what I did. Instead, I reloaded, got a little something extra, and then first take profit today was 50 cents, okay? Now 50 cents is basically 45% gain off of that. So now I take my 40%, add my 45, now I'm at 85% gain on this option. Plus I've got a ton of insurance, okay? So it's non-linear, all right? Are you guys all with me? Cool. So then goes to 52, 53, 54, 55, 55, next take profit. Goes to 60, next take profit. Now, at 60 cents, it's another 50%, okay? The highest that my option went was 82% today, okay? So, the highest that I sold those Chronos options was 65 cents. So I'm essentially just absolutely crushing the option. But that move, while big, I have to factor in the move from before, which was a 40% gain. So it gives me a tidy 100%, right? At 70 cents, I'm at 100%. And that's what I was holding out for. But I just want to kind of explain. Now, this wasn't in a day. This is literally a week. All right. Now, swinging options, you can do it, but there's a few factors that you need to consider when you're doing it. When you're swinging an option like this, time. Okay, time is the most important thing if you want to swing something like this. Also, you're not playing. You can play Momo. In this scenario, I was playing the channel, the chart, if you will. I was playing the idea that this would bounce from 16 to 1750. Oh, sorry, that's Canopy. I was playing that this would bounce from $6 to $6.50, maybe get to $6.75. All right. So I've already hit my target. All right. It was just that was the move for me. But now at the same time, now we're going to switch gears and talk about Canopy. Because, now I'm not going to get into the price action, but it was pretty much the same as Chronos. Because remember, they're in lockstep with each other. Chronos just happened to make a bigger move today. But, the point that I want you to take from this is, not only do when you've got time on an option, you've got to manage it. You cannot be one of those people that says, this isn't, I just want 5 more cents. I want 5 more cents on this option, okay? You can't think like that. You have to think that at all times that you're going to get a rug pull, all right? You're never going to go broke taking profit, all right? And, as long as you have some, you're still in the game. All right. And you can't look at it like that because think about it every time you guys have traded options. Okay. And I know for some of you people, I know that this has happened to you where you're like, you know what? You maybe put up an offer and you pull the offer. You're like, nah, I think it's going to go higher. And you're doing this, you're like, I think it's going to go higher. I think it's going to go higher. And then it pulls back. And then you end up selling that same option once you're like, oh shit, this isn't going the way. And then you sell it like 10 or 15 cents lower. You know, you have to think that at some point that this is going to happen with you. Now, this is, before, this is why I was talking about you sell some, then you can reload some if you feel comfortable in the move. Now, if it's a big move down, you don't buy the same option. No. If, let's say, this Canopy option that I got, that I was selling at 90 cents today, that I sold at $1 last week, let's say that it just gets completely battered, and I've already sold half of my position near the top. All right? Am I going to reload the same option? Fuck no. I'll get the same strike. I'm just going to get it a week further. All right? And the only way that I'm going to do that is if it was less than the price that I sold the option at. More upside, less risk. But more importantly, more time. Because time will allow you to make this move. Time will allow you to swing the option. Time will allow you, if you're picking the right direction and staying disciplined, to take a small gain and turn it into a big gain. Like my Canopy option, I looked at it, I was like, oh wow, I'm up 30%. And I'm like, oh, hey, numbnuts, now do the math on it. You took profit here, you reloaded here. You took profit there, you reloaded here. And how many of those shares were paid for with house money? And then I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, it's about 80%. I'm like, I'm up 80% on this trade in a week. And I didn't stress about it, nothing. So yeah. Does everybody okay with me? You guys good? You understand this? If you guys got any follow-up questions, feel free. So guys, I wasn't looking at any of your questions or any of the back and forth conversation. Aaron Parker, what's the size that you're trading with Cron? So, Aaron Parker, that's actually a good question. And now I'm going to give you an honest answer. My size wasn't that big with Cron. And I said this on Tuesday when I entered the trade. I tried to get size on it, okay? And I made this specific point when I exited, all right? So I said that my size was small on my first go around. I go, maybe I'm just going to look at this as my insurance trade. So first size on that Chronos call was only 25 contracts. I was aiming for 100 contracts. Okay, it was small size, but on something like Chronos, it's not like Apple. It's not like the SPY where if I'm buying like Apple or Roku contracts, my first position is going to be like 10 grand, and I know that from the start. If I buy 10 grand worth of Chronos, that's 300 options, if I got it at this price. And guess what? I'm going to be probably 30 or 40% of the volume. So what happens if the option goes the wrong way? No. So this wasn't the option to go size on. Canopy, however, I did get size. So I did get 100, for that first go around on Canopy. But when I got into Chronos, the whole point was, and I made this clear on Tuesday, was, hey, look, I'm taking my profit. I got small size on it, and everybody was here, so I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking it. I'm like, I got small size on it. I'm like, I think it's going to pull back. I go, I'll just reload then, and that's how I will build my position, by just retrading it. And that's exactly what I did. So, I look at the first size, that tier 1 entry in any option contract, as my insurance position. Now, what I mean by the insurance position is, say I get Canopy, for example. Okay, so I got in at 75 cents. My first take profit, I think, was 92 cents. And then I sold 60% of my position by accident at $1, which ended up being a happy mistake. So I didn't pull an order that I had that was good till cancel. And then I re-put that same order in for the following day, and they both hit. But now, when the thing pulled back, I know that I've got 30 cents worth of a shitload of options, which, turns into, it was 60 options, so I made 30 cents on those options. So it was $1,800. So now I go in, when it does pull back, I can get 20 options for free, and I've got tons of insurance. So because I got that insurance and because I took that first profit, when it pulled back today, kind of like what I expected, because the Canadian markets were shit on Friday, I wasn't panicking. If anything, I actually bought. And so like the low today, I got 60 cents, and and then I went and sold that at 90 and 92 today. But the whole point is, when you make some of these options trades, you should look at, everybody's different. I don't expect everybody to trade like me. I'm a really big fan of insurance trades, because the reason I do that is because I know that it'll keep me honest for the rest of the day. So if, let's say, I make that, like that $2,000 on just that small trade on Canopy, and it's, it's quick, I know that wherever I am positioned at that point of the day, that I've got $2,000 of profit to play with. Now, I'm not playing with my money, I'm playing with house money. And if, let's say, the option just starts to go the other way and it goes down, it's like 1,700, 1,600, 1,500, 1,400, I'm like, fucking, I'm out. Take my ball and go home. 1,400 profit, that's good. It's good for me. And then I just go, and then I wait, maybe I watch it, and then I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm going to get back in. And then it's ready, then it goes back up, and your whole mindset is completely different when you play with insurance. How do you trade swings with a 5-minute chart? Don't most swing traders use a 60-minute chart? I don't know. Do they? What does it matter? What does it matter what type of chart? Now, you're thinking that when I'm swinging, that I'm maybe swinging intraday. When I use a 5-minute, I actually use a 5-minute and a 60-minute. That's why it's funny. So those are the two that I use. I'll use the 5-minute and the 60-minute to just kind of pick out, all right, when I'm using those for the MACD. When I'm using those, I'm taking a look at the volume. But for the most part, guys, I can go into any one of these trades blind. Because, I don't know if you know this, but when I'm trading, I'm not trading with a chart in front of me. I'm trading off of knowing the price action beforehand. It's like people are like, well, how do you get Roku so well? How do you understand Roku? It comes from me watching the tape of Roku for literally weeks. Putting in the time, taking notes. Like I take notes. I take more mental notes, but I'll take notes. So yeah, the 5-minute, the 60-minute, yeah, they're useful. But if you're swing trading, you're usually swing trading a channel. So why do I need a chart if I know that something's going to bounce off of 16 and go to 1750? Or I know that there's a high probability because anything can happen. So, at that point, the chart's kind of irrelevant, wouldn't you say? Now, it's helpful for entries, and that's for the most part what I use it for. Because guys, remember, you're going to make your money on your entry. You're not going to make your money on your exit. What I mean by slap the bid, you mean bid whack? Crash the bid? That's just when somebody's just like bombing out of a position. They're just like market ordering out, taking out all the bid support. When you say tape, is that level 2? Yeah. So you're watching level 2, you're watching the real-time trades. How does who manage his risk? Guys, did I miss something in futures? Ew, I guess I did. Wow. VIX flipped. And what's strong? Let me guess. And NASDAQ. If let's say futures just ended right now, okay? So S&P flat, Dow flat, NASDAQ quarter of a point up. All right, Russell down 0.10, which is nothing. Where would you be putting your money tomorrow? If you had to pick one sector, where would you be going? All right, we're gonna do a little. We're gonna play a little game. Square. Crazy. Thank you, Kevin. You're gonna be putting in QQQ. Tech is too strong. Guys, yeah, don't talk to me about Square, please. I sold it at 85 bucks. It went up another 50%. That would have been a 200% gain from my entry, which is insane. That is just nuts. God. How do you learn to read the tape well and get confirmation that specific price level is validated? It's just, it's like muscle memory, right? If you watch something long enough, it's the same way when you're reading. It's the same way when you're playing a sport. I don't know what sports you guys played, but like I played lacrosse in college. I played 3 sports, but I played lacrosse in college, and understanding where people were going to be on the field based off of the movement of somebody over there was that just comes from being in the situation over the course of a long time. Now, if you watch a stock, I'm trying to think, like U.S. Steel, okay? I know how U.S. Steel reacts to the SPY. Now, I know how Canopy reacts to the SPY. I know how Kronos reacts to Canopy. It's all cause and effect. It's all understanding causality. Now, where can you get confirmation? You can't get really confirmation anywhere. I mean, you can go and you can look in a chart and you can see that there is support at 16. You can see that the first resistance is 1630 and that the next resistance is 1658. And then the one after that is 1690 whatever. You can see that. Or you can trade the stock and then see, hey, man, I'm trading this stock. Why does it just keep getting smashed in the face right here? Why do I see all these bids? Or, why do I see so many people putting stock on the offer right up here? Do you think to yourself, oh, that's just funny? No, you take a mental picture of it, take a snapshot, and now you understand for the next time. This is exactly what I did on Roku. This is exactly what I do on US Steel. This is exactly what I'm doing on Canopy and Chronos right now. So yeah, that's why the charts, understanding Fibonacci retracements and all that stuff is great. It's confirmation. But, you can pretty much ask anybody in TTG that me watching the tape, and when I'll try and get confirmation from Simmons, if it matches up, guys. Carmen Sita. If you're not sure how to buy an option, then don't buy an option. That's all I would say. It's buy to open, sell to close. But you don't want to buy. First off, July 10th, $8 strike, you're wasting your money. That is never going to make money. All right? That is a sucker's bet. Some sucker is hoping it's just not going to happen. Now, you guys want to know when there's going to be a big move in pot stocks? Well, I can tell you when there's going to be an intra move and why, but I'm going to save that for TTG Tuesday. Honestly, I'm going to honey dick you with that. So tomorrow, I want everybody to DM me or just mention in chat, and the code word will be Wolf is a D-bag. And then I'm going to explain to you why and how and where and when we're going to get a pop in pot stocks. What's my stop on a 10K position? I'm usually on a 10K position. I'm willing to gamble 30% of any position that I get into. Why are options so confusing? They're actually not that confusing. I think people just kind of overcomplicate it, but I would say that they're confusing because they're really addictive, and you can, it's good that they're confusing, because if they weren't confusing, people would just get blown out on them. Options are about as confusing as getting a new phone, right? It sucks for a little while and you get in the hang of it, but then you give it a day or two and then you got it inside and out. What about the people that don't think I'm a D-bag? I'm offended if they don't think I'm a D-bag. I'm a D-bag if you're not taking profit, and I will be the first one to tell you that. But yeah, guys, no, because there's a reason my expiration date is what it is. So I plan on taking full advantage of it. And it might be early on it, but I think we'll see. Hey, Wolf, I had a question about options. You know how Mike bought the 315.78 SPY put today? Can you go over what be the difference had he purchased the 314.78 or 315? Yeah, it really just comes down to risk, right? See, what Mike does, and he does kind of the same thing, he's not going for where he thinks it's going to be, all right? I mean, he is, but he's looking at it as he's willing to pay a little bit more upfront so that he minimizes his risk, but he can still capture all of that juice if it goes down to the area that he's targeting. So if he buys the 315 versus the 314, the 314 is going to be cheaper, but the 315 could end up paying him more. And what if it goes to like, let's say it goes to 314.50? Well, that 314 is going to be worthless. That 315 is going to be in the money. So that's really it. Do I ever play Tesla? I play Tesla occasionally. So for me to play Tesla, it has to be a Friday at like 3 o'clock. And I'll play like those just huge swings. But I actually don't like Tesla. I definitely don't like Tesla if you're new to options. That's a surefire way to blow up your account. I mean, right now everybody's like, oh, buy calls, buy calls. But, you know, I just feel like the second I step into calls on Tesla and I take a position, I'm going to end up getting smashed, kicked in the nuts. $300 risk. What would you get tomorrow? I would get U.S. Steel $7 calls for July 24th. It was funny because I was watching CNBC, or I came into my office and CNBC was on, and Guy Adami was like, oh, maybe Warren Buffett should buy U.S. Steel. And I was like, that is a fucking great idea. I was like, Warren Buffett, I hope you're watching. Do you typically just buy contracts, or do you sell for income too, as a way to generate income? No, I just buy and sell contracts. Yeah, you know, like trading options it's like what I equate it to, you know, saying like what keeps the lights on. Because guys, I'm involved in other businesses, same as Mike. So, you know, I've got other income, but, you know, I've also got my long-term portfolio, and the options, you know, money comes out of my options account. And I was talking about this yesterday. My money comes out of my options account twice a week, without fail. So, you know, if I have a bad stretch of weeks, you know, I could lose my margin account. Because no matter what, whether I was trading good or trading bad, that money comes out, and it's the same amount every Thursday and Friday. Buffett and X might ruin it for us? Hell no. That thing would rocket. God, I hope I'm holding calls if that ever happens. I hope. Shaban, I don't use Lightspeed. Maybe somebody else can explain that, can talk Lightspeed to you. Lightspeed's what Mike uses. Oh no, yeah, he uses Lightspeed for, he uses TC2000 for charting, Lightspeed for executing trades. What went down almost 9%? iPad mini? Jesus, now you're scaring me. Freaking me out. Nothing that we're holding. So yeah, guys. So again, tomorrow, hold on, let me link. So tomorrow is TTG Tuesday. And I'm going to say that again, you know, because I want everybody to be in there. Yes, last week we had 1,300 people in TTG Tuesday. It was gonzo. I want TTG Adam Tuesday link. Sorry, I'm texting the control to put the link in. Buffett invested in Dominion and it went down. Who cares? Buffett investing in Dominion made the market go up. So yeah. Oh, what do I use? Guys, I use E-Trade. I use, here's the thing. Sorry. I got something in my eye. So I use an E-Trade app, okay? I don't do it on a desktop. I hate trading from a desktop. I hate trading from a laptop. I hate it. I trade from my phone. I've traded from my phone or an iPad since 2013. I will never go back. Never. No point. Where can we DM you? You guys can DM me in TTG. I mean, you can DM me on Twitter if that's your thing. So let's see. You guys follow me on Twitter? So, do you pay option commissions on E-Trade? Yeah. You pay, on E-Trade, you pay 50 cents a contract. Let me tell you something. I'm happy to pay 50 cents a contract. Before it was, you paid a percentage. And let me tell you, in 2018, I paid $180,000 in commission on options. Is that nuts or what? So yeah, guys, if you want to DM me, you can DM me here, and you should follow me. So it's Wolf of Weed Street, Street ST. I got a blue check, so you know it's me. But yeah. How do you stay focused? So, guys, all right, ready? Ready? Let's see. All right, you're not gonna be able to see it because of the phone, but I'm gonna eyeball for you. So I got my missed calls, 18, text messages, 100. So I got my E-Trade app, and then I've got my app from my streamers, right? Now these are the stocks that on any given day I'm looking at, all right? And all I'm doing is going from there back to E-Trade, from E-Trade back to there. I'm just cycling. And I'm watching everything in real time. Like E-Trade, the app is giving me stuff in real time. And that's how I'm picking. So I'm not going into something like completely blind, like feeling around in the dark. Sammy Shaw, yes, I am the Wolf of Weed Street. You've heard about me. I've been, I'm probably the only person on this thing that's been in Penthouse magazine and had all my clothes on. So yeah. Not even dual windows. Well, I can dual window it, so I just go like that. Whoop. So yeah, that's actually what I'll do. And I'll just go back and forth. And that's all I need to do. The app that I use for level 2, believe it or not, is it's the ADVFN app. So actually, we've got an app too. True Trading Group has an app for all of its members. We've got the trade simulator. It's just a ton of stuff. So I have the Power E-Trade app. Believe it or not, I don't use it. I don't like the Power E-Trade app. I really don't. It's the same way with like Thinkorswim. Because I also have TD, so I have Schwab, I have Interactive Brokers, I've got Robinhood. I mean, I don't use Robinhood anymore. So yeah. But anyway, Yeah, guys. So, are there any questions about swinging the options or anything? You guys want to get into anything? I got time. Just watching futures. See you later, Mark. Everybody's tired. This weekend sucked. This is the first weekend I didn't get to blow stuff up with TTG Adam. Me and TT, I probably shouldn't say this, but so I live on a lake, and I've got like bass and all types of things in the lake, and we were taking just mortars and just lighting them and chucking them into the lake, and they were just like, I think we almost set my neighbor across the lake's tiki hut on fire the year before. Miss those days. If you intend to trade the same day, when pick further out dates? Yeah, so I got a rule. So when I'm trading options, so I trade based off of. All right, so there's a couple things you need to know when I'm making a trade, right? I put everything, every stock that I trade, if I trade their options, they go into a category. They go on it's a list from 1 to 10. 1 being the least volatile, 10 being the most volatile. All right. So I like to trade, a couple of positions, at both ends of the spectrum. So like U.S. Steel is like a 4 or a 5. American Airlines is like a 6. Apple's like an 8. Tesla's like a 9. Roku's like an 8. SPY is like a 9. So if it's Monday, I'm buying weeklies. Now, if it's a very volatile option, I'm playing a weekly. If it's an option or a stock that's not that volatile, like a slow mover like US Steel or an airline or Caterpillar is the fucking slowest thing out there. Then, when you're trading that option, you need time. So give yourself 2 weeks. If I'm trading like a Roku option, for the most part, I'm playing a weekly. Now, I'll only play a weekly if it's, Monday, Tuesday, or 9:30 to 11:59 a.m. Because at 12 p.m., if I go into that position, if I think that I'm going to have to hold that position, then I'm buying the following week. Now, if I'm buying an option on a Wednesday and I'm like, I'm just going to trade this intraday, then yeah, I'll buy a weekly. But if it's something that I really want to be in for a little bit of time and I think that it's just a good price and I want to see it develop, I get it for the following week. People get stuck on the idea of, oh man, this option's more. Well, yeah, no shit, it's more because you're giving yourself more time to win. People like to buy options. They're like, oh, it's so cheap. Yeah, it's cheap because it's for suckers. And 99% of those people that buy those options are going to get killed. Do you swing any X contracts? Yeah, we have US Steel right now. How are futures looking? I don't know. Pretty much the same. Yeah, we got into US Steel today. What was our entry in US Steel? Do I think that the SPY will fall below 314 tomorrow? Probably not. Wednesday? I mean, it could. I would just take the move. because it's going to be choppy. If your options are expiring tomorrow, I would take that first big move that gets you as close as possible, then reload and then rework it. Am I eyeing Roku puts at any point? Yeah, of course. I was looking at them today. Here's where I would be short Roku. I would be short over 135. I would be long anywhere from 130.50 on. Now, if it goes below 130.50, then I'm probably just going to sit it out, because then I think you're looking at 128. It would take a pretty big move, and they have earnings in like a month, so it's going to be real choppy in the 130s. I expect it to pull back into the 120s at some point. It could make a big move down, and then right before earnings, it'll probably be like 139, 140. So I would really take a hard look at the open interest and the volume and some of the options, maybe after you get off of this stream with me. Bullish on BA? I mean, yeah. I mean, I was a shareholder up until 185. So I took my ball and went home. That was one of the best trades of the year. I could list my three best trades, my three best swings of the year, and I'm only in one of them right now. So it was Boeing at an entry at 90, Square entry at 40, Power REIT average 870. Oh, Power REIT is it was $26 today, but it was 32 last week. Looking at airline calls, we were in American airline calls today, the $13 calls that expire this week. If American Airlines gets back down to 1220, and it goes below, then just avoid it. If it goes above, go 1250 calls and give yourself at least 2 weeks time. Oh, fuck you, Steve Bills. I'm gonna take you out, you fucking crypto. I hate you, crypto peasants. No offense if you like. Who fucking comes on a stream and talks about crypto? What a douche. God. I hope your computer gets AIDS. Eddie Brazil. That was pretty much. The first hour was all swings. B. Smitty, yeah, Wolf, you and Mike were considering a month or two out long SPY puts. Nothing changed my mind. I'm still thinking about it. I was actually thinking about those puts today. So I'm looking at August 21st puts on the SPY, probably 300. I'd kind of like, IWM, whatever. I just wanted to go a little bit higher before I get into that position. And, actually, in reality, what I should be doing is just, instead of taking a SPY put, I really should just pivot and just go to IWM. It'll pay me just as much. And I feel a lot more comfortable in that because, right now the SPY is weighted, 52% of it is FANG companies, which is wrong. Any thoughts on risk management while scalping low cap runners like Shaban? Guys, I don't play small caps. I don't. My small caps are options. I can get I can make just as much money trading an option and making 30 cents on it that I can, in trading a small cap and making $1 and not having to worry about it getting halted 15 times or, them doing an offering midday. So, you want the master of small caps. You're talking about Jay Downing, Mike, Alex Campbell, Jason Simmons, Chris Toner. They crush those all day. Occasionally I'll piggyback off of them. So, SPY puts, do you trade Forex? No, I don't trade Forex. How do the home runs come? The home runs come, you don't know that they're a home run. You really don't. Like, when I bought 122 Roku calls Thursday? I knew it was going to be good. I didn't think it would be a couple 100%. But, because of the way that I've traded, Roku, and just kind of my confidence in the levels are what kept me in that trade. Knowing that I'd made so much money on Roku the day before or 2 days before, and just understanding how it would react. Because when I first got into that trade, I bought 10 grand at $3.30. And then when it pulled back to 260, that's a considerable amount to just be down. So every 10 cents is $500 at that point. So, getting it at 260, now I'm like, all right, my average is, I think it was like 295 after that. And, just being able to hold on to it, I didn't, realize it was going to be a home run, or else I wouldn't have sold that first block of stock at 372. I think I sold it at for 42 cents. Because I was just like, oh, let me just get that out of the way. That thing went to $8 same day. So I left a ton of money on the table. And I didn't know it was going to be just a home run. But you hit the home runs when you're not trying to hit home runs. It's kind of like, if you go out to a bar, especially for some of you young guys, and even girls, if you go out to a bar, now that pre-COVID, obviously, and you're like, man, I need to meet somebody, I need to get somebody's number to, call it, to validate that I had a good time. If you go out and do that, then you're going to have a shitty time more often than not. If you don't try and get somebody's number, or talk to somebody, and you just go with the idea like, I'm just going to have a good time, guess what? You're going to have a good time a lot more. It's the same way with options. Like, if you're prepared, if you know how to manage your risk and you know how to stay in trades longer, if you understand how to work your stops, you're going to be in trades that can turn into home runs, that can turn into the Moby Dicks. Because guess what? Nobody knows that they've harpooned Moby Dick until they're like, holy shit, look at this giant dead white whale with all its beautiful blubber that I'm going to turn into oil. You don't know. The only way you know after the fact. Gregory Jules, I love Roku because it's the only damn stock that picks a direction and just goes. Easy stops and great momentum. It's a cult stock. But one day you're loving Roku and the next you're hating Roku. So you guys are only seeing the fun Roku. I've seen bad Roku. Any good tips for staying in trades longer? Yeah, sure. A lot of times what people are doing, especially with options, if say you go in, you're like, all right, I'm going to buy 10 options. Don't buy 10 at once, buy 5. Start. make that first trade your insurance trade. See where it lands. Guys, I get into options prematurely a lot. And I'll tell people in TTG, I'm like, you're gonna, like with that Roku that I got at 330, I put in my alert, you can get a better price. I shouldn't have market ordered into this. And guess what? Everybody got a better price than me until I got 263, which was pretty good. I think somebody beat me. They got 258, bastard. But, you know, you just have to be patient. That's how you stay in trades longer. You stay in trades longer by not doing stupid shit on the trade before. You build up that insurance. Start slow. Everybody, understand. $50 a day is an extra $12,000 a year. $100 a day is $25,000 a year. So on and so on and so on. Build up to it. And then all of a sudden you're like Mr. Miyagi. Or no, you're like Ralph Macchio in Karate Kid. Where he's like, why the fuck am I wax on, wax off? And then you're like fucking blocking punches and, somebody tries to sweep the leg and you fucking crane kick them. That's what trading is all about. And the only way that you get that is by being, getting an education, being around traders that make mistakes, that can teach you why you're making mistakes, that can spot it. It's like having a swing coach. If you're golfing or learning to fly a plane, you don't get into a plane. You're like, fuck, I just bought a plane. Let's go fly this bitch. No, you're going to take a fucking lesson. You're going to take a couple of them. I got things in here for flying lessons. I've just never used them. I'm afraid of dying. But the point is, you don't just go into something blind. It takes time. Guys, you're going to lose money. That's fucking part of it. The objective is to win more than you lose and make sure that those losses don't eat up those wins. Because if you're somebody that can have like 4 awesome trading days in a row and you just fucking go into Friday and you're like, fuck, I'm the best. I'm fucking crushing this trading. This trading shit's easy. And then on Friday you get in a trade and it blows out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, guess what? You've got a serious problem and you're not going to last long trading. Make sense? Wolf seems like a pilot. Top Gun, baby. So, I think I own Tesla. Short Tesla or TeslaShorts.com. Gotta give that to Elon. So anyway, guys, so tomorrow again, TTG Tuesday, and it's going to be fun. It always is, and I want you guys to be there. All right? Just be there. Just come. Just come. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can guarantee it is going to be fun. You guys will make money. And we're going to crush a bunch of trades tomorrow. Guys, I actually preferred if futures gap down. Especially on a day where I took so much profit. So guys, get your token. Come into TCG tomorrow. Guys, and you want to sign up tonight, okay? Because space is limited. That's actually true. Space is limited. Meaning, you might not get a spot if you're like, what's that link again? And you go in at like 9:15, and then you're like, send me a DM. Wolf! Send me a DM on Twitter. Wolf, come on, let me in, buddy. Let me in. I'm going to say, no, sorry. No can do. Aaron Parker, you're buying 30K in Tesla tomorrow. You don't care. Well, Good for you, buddy. Good for you. What are you gonna do if Tesla drops $100? Yeah, I mean, have you looked at that RSI? Whew, red hot, red hot. So yes, guys, tomorrow the Miami Colada Club with Jason Simmons is going to open up, and you TTG Tuesday people can come in. He goes over charts, he goes over a watch list, he goes over everything. Look, there is nobody that can help you out if you're stuck in a position like Jason Simmons. He is my Sherpa when it comes to charting. And then, it goes all day, guys. So bright and early, we're going to have some fun tomorrow. And yeah, that's all I got. All right. So I hope this was informative. Guys, remember the code word for tomorrow is Wolf is a D-bag. And I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom for the next month. Maybe the following month. I might have to wait and see. But when it comes to picking out stuff on a calendar, when it comes to marijuana, let's be honest, I'm the fucking wolf of Weed Street. All right? All right, guys, so have a good night. Take care, comb your hair, and remember, guys, Carol did it. Later.